Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. And as you can see, I've got two guests with me today from the same channel, Twisted Locker. We've got Curtis and Jenks. How are we doing, lads?
How's it going? Great.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you are here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to this special video. Now, before we begin, every time I've got a guest on and I do the 30-second countdown, I then put in my own intro, like the 9-second intro, and every single time, at least one person nods their head as it's going. I seen you doing it, Jenks.
Yes, I didn't realize you could see me.
Yeah, I can see you going like this.
It's such a good tune. Yeah, I love
I know
it.
it's quite catchy. It's quite good.
Yeah.
So today, guys, we will be ranking we're going to do it as a joint venture, a top 10 horror found footage movies. Now, I was initially going to do my own top 10, but I was speaking to Curtis and we decided, why don't we try and do it together? There's no point in doing a top 30 with 10 each because I think some of our answers are the same. And I think it'd be quite fun to try and squeeze others out. So you, Jenks, for example, might have a found footage that me and Curtis might not like, so it might not make the top 10, and vice versa. Me and Jenks might have one, or Curtis and Jenks might have one. So that's the fun of this, that some of our best found footage movies won't make it into the top 10, but it doesn't mean we still don't love them. Every film we've got on here, there is 23 between us, so we've all decided on our top 10s. Some of them are the same as each other, so there's 23 found footage films that we'll be trying to squeeze into our top 10. Before we do that, we've got 4 categories that we're going to be putting them in. There's going to be the first, second, third, and fourth tier. Now, the fourth tier, if we put any in the fourth tier, it doesn't mean it's bad because automatically we love all of these films. But we do have to categorize, and maybe we need to be strategic about it as well, guys. So our categories, let me just go into the categories before we begin. You'll probably see the movies, but we'll go through them one by one. Here they're here. So we've got our top 10, which we will go into last. So on our top category, the ones that we consider the best ones, we're making this up as we go along. We've mentioned this before we started. So in the first category, we've called it Release the Kraken. Okay. The second category is Peach Fuzz. The third category is I Like You. And then the last one is Go Stand in the Corner. These are all references to found footage movies, guys, if you hadn't already known.
No, I only know the Stand in the Corner one. I didn't know any of the ones.
Well,
I Like You. VHS, Jenks. Come on. VHS one.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
Peach Fuzz is from Creep. And Release the Kraken. I need to Google this again. You know what was it, Curtis?
It's in Paranormal Activity 2.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
Release the Kraken, yes. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
It was part 1, I think. Yeah, it's part 1. It's in part 1.
Part 1, isn't it?
It was when Mika was talking to Katie. He said something like "Release the Kraken," and I think everybody in the cinema was laughing because obviously he was talking about his man parts. It was quite funny.
Not to be confused with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah, because that's not a found footage movie.
No, shit movie.
Yeah, well, is it? So yeah, we'll be making this up as we go along. We'll go into the chat as well throughout just to see if everybody's okay and say hello to everybody as well. This is my very first live stream back from my operation that I can speak again. For those of you who don't know, I had a tongue operation, and for 2 weeks I couldn't eat, and I swear I couldn't eat, and I couldn't speak properly. So I was absolutely starving for 2 weeks, hungry. I was just drinking soup and smoothies and stuff like that, and I could see people eating chips and steak, chicken. Oh, I was so hungry. So yesterday I recorded a few videos for the first time in 3 weeks, and this is my first time doing a live stream in a long time. So it's good to have you guys on. I did blabber on a lot there, guys, but how are you guys doing tonight anyway? I say tonight.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. And honestly, it's a pleasure that you asked us to come on. Obviously, you were kind enough to jump on one of our videos. So I'm more than happy to return the favour doing one of my favourite subgenres of all time. Obviously, we've got found footage. Now, I will say I'm going to really struggle to rank any of these ones low because I think me and you, especially Barry, I think a lot of our picks are very similar.
Yeah. They are.
And I was saying in the back room now that I wish I purposely just picked shit ones so I could just chuck them down low. But no, I'm looking forward to start ranking these ones.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that would make it harder for us, though, guys, because if we love them so much, it's going to be hard to determine our top 10. What about you, Jenks? How did you find trying to dwindle it down to 10?
Yeah, to be honest, there aren't a lot of bad ones. Like we were gonna do ages ago. I remember, Kurt, we're gonna do like a worst of found footage, but there aren't a lot.
Yeah.
Or even the ones that are weaker than like Blair Witch or whatever, and they're still not terrible films. So I reckon I got about 20, then to 15. I managed to get to 10. I've got a couple of controversial ones, which we'll discuss later, which may have question marks over whether they're horror enough and whether yes, but
all found footage enough.
Yes, all found footage enough. That is not a word, but it is now.
Trademarked.
But I know I when they come up, I will plead my case, and I win. I'll definitely win.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to you pleading your case, because when you showed me the list, I'm like, oh, is that horror? And then I looked at another one, I'm like, is that horror? But if you've got a good argument for it, then absolutely.
The answer is yes. Okay, getting it in early.
That's fine.
It's probably
I'll agree with you. I agree to disagree. But we'll just quickly go into the chat and then we can get started. So we'll get Cynthia. How you doing, Cynthia? Glad you're okay. Thanks very much, Cynthia. I'm doing a lot better. Darren's here as well from the Slaughtered Lamb. Evening, chaps. How you doing, Darren? Ella Star's here. Hi, guys. Joe John. Evening, guys. Evening, Joe. Jay Wilshaw's here as well. Evening. Yep, Cynthia said it's good to see you. It's so good to see you. Thanks very much, Cynthia. I got a haircut as well. Drunky McDrunk.
He couldn't eat, but he could get a haircut.
we were just talking about cool names, Jenks, before we went live. Look at that name, Drunky McDrunkerson. He says,
"That's awesome."
Oi, oi, oi.
Oi. Awesome, love it.
He must be drunk. And Jordan Moran's here as well. Evening, all. Evening, Jordan. Nice.
Are they all just drunk related because you're from Glasgow?
Well, probably. If you see a Scottish, anyone from Scotland is probably drunk, especially Thursday night. It's especially a good night to get drunk.
Especially Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, well, Tuesday afternoon, is that what happens in Wales? So yeah, we must warn you guys, if you're not from the UK, this is one of the live streams that you probably understand nothing, because I'm Scottish, you don't understand me. Welsh, I guess maybe people understand Welsh more than Scottish. I don't know. Do you find that, guys?
Depends. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think Northern Wales sound English, don't they?
Yes, right? Very close to Liverpool, because they're quite close to the border, isn't it? They've got that guttural sound. To be honest, but it depends how scummy you are from Wales.
Yeah,
you know?
Same with Scotland as well.
Yes, Curtis and I are very sophisticated Welsh.
Oh, yeah. so am I.
We are from a very small posh community called Llanelli.
Yes.
And if anyone in you knows Llanelli.
Yes, I know it.
Yes, there are no famous people apart from Imogen Thomas from Big Brother. That's it.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. Well, I'm from a very posh area in Scotland called Glasgow.
Glasgow, is there? Glasgow, right? Yes,
beautiful place. Yeah, and that's where Gerard Butler's from, and my old work colleague James McAvoy that I mention all the time. So yeah, we
all live in the same street.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one big street.
Yeah.
Where Scotland is a small town in London. That's
it's like when Chandler from Friends goes to where's he going now? Yemen, and he's
Yemen.
10 Yemen Street, Yemen.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to Yemen. I'm going to Yemen.
I got your address.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll begin. Now, remember, this is new to me. It's probably new to you guys. So we will be winging it quite a lot. So apologies, guys. It's not going to be 100% professional, but we'll try our best. Now, as you can see, there's a list of posters. I don't know if you can see them all there, but they're there. Very small, but we'll talk about them all individually. They're not in any order, so I haven't put like Jenks's 10 first and then Curtis's 10, then mine. It's just all jumbled up. So if you're one is called up next. We can all say if we've chosen it or not, and then we can plead the case for where it should go. What we should do as well, I think, I don't know if you guys agree, is we should say what we personally think about it, and then what we genuinely think. Like, because there is films that I love that are critically terrible, but
Yes, of course.
so I still, and same with you, Curtis, you love terrible movies, but but even though they're like critically terrible, we personally love them, and that's why maybe some of them are on the list. But we'll get
that time I thought me and you were connecting, Barry, the last time we did a video, and I mentioned I liked Street Trash, and you said that was below you. And that's when I realized how bad my taste is.
Even I, who love bad films, don't like Street Trash.
Yes, good call.
Yeah. So I'm honest when it has to be, when I have to call for it. But I like a lot worse films than Street Trash, to be honest. There is an old film called...
What's worse than that?
Oh, what's it called again? It starts with H. I think it's Hell something. Hellgate. Arrow released. Yeah.
Yes, I've got it. Yeah.
1989. Arrow released it on Blu-ray, and I love it. But people think, but people hate it, and I'm like, oh well, I love it.
I have it on VHS and Blu-ray.
There you go. You love it a little bit more than me, then.
See, I've got a friend who loves a film called Paranormal Farmers. 3 of them. And it's a found footage, which is not on the list, and it's his favorite trilogy ever. It's so shit, apparently. That's not even on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
You can't even review it, and it's free on YouTube now. But yeah, I haven't seen it. I can't bring myself to watch.
Well, when we talk about bad films, there is a critically bad film on this list that's actually chosen by me, but we'll get to that. I don't know if you can spot it, but
I know which one it is. I can pick that out. Yeah.
Apparently it's terrible, and maybe it is, but it's on there because I love it. It probably won't make the top 10 because of you guys, but you never know. You never know.
Curtis.
Yeah.
He's got a poster of it behind him.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. So we'll go into the first one. The first one happens to be one that I chose. I can't remember if any of you guys chose it. It's Paranormal Activity 3. Let's put it here to start with, and then we can discuss it. Paranormal Activity 3. Now, off the bat, guys, that's my favorite found footage movie of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Paranormal Activity 3. My number one.
So I think the first 3 Paranormal Activities are all equally fantastic. I think the third one is the scariest because you've got the cult at the end. That scene where she walks through that door and they're all standing in a circle is just absolutely terrifying. And I was quite maybe like 15, 16 going to cinema to see this one, and it was such a great experience. The first 3 Paranormal Activities I would put in any top list for any found footage movies. Absolutely.
So I love that. The first one's my favorite. The second one's okay. From 3 onwards, I tend to mix them up a little bit. Is this the one where it's when they're kids?
Yes.
It's set in the 80s.
Set in 88, yep.
Yes, it's not. Yeah, this is a decent one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Still don't think it's as good as the first, but it's not too bad. 4 and there's 5, is it? The marked ones, and there's a
Ghost Dimensions and
Ghost
then Next of
Dimension.
Kin.
Oh, Ghost Dimension. Yes, that's right. That was shit.
Yeah, that was bad.
The tagline was, "Now you're going to see the activity," and that's what's special about Paranormal Activity is that you don't see it.
Yeah.
So they took that away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything was taken away from that one. But why I love the third one is I love 80s horror films, of course. And having a Paranormal Activity film set in the 80s with 80s technology, to me, was genius. Having 2 little girls be the subject, like the main protagonists in the movie as well, fantastic. And then the boyfriend, I don't know if he wasn't the father, but the boyfriend who owned he was a wedding photographer or wedding videographer. So he had all the best equipment in 1988. I thought he was hilarious. He was fantastic. So there's just something about Paranormal Activity 3 that I love the first film, but I think what Paranormal Activity 3 adds to it is that nostalgia of VHS tapes and the way the technology that they had. So they can't pick up the mobile phone and phone someone in an emergency. Can't do that. And even the camera, it was genius where they put the video camera on like a fan, a rotating fan.
Yes, that's such a great scene.
I was doing this, and honestly, seeing the cinema, people were in this we're from Scotland, so we're silent in the cinema, but literally every time the camera was moving, people were going, "Oh, oh," because you just didn't know what to expect. And then, like you mentioned, Curtis, that cult, nobody's seen the cult coming, and I
Yeah.
think it added that extra layer of creepiness to it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why it's in my top 10 and number 1.
Cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Now,
So where
I
where
will.
where are we putting this one, boys?
So for me personally, I would have it in Release the Kraken, but I'm more than happy to put it in any category because we all have to agree on something. Now,
I would say I forgot what yellow is now. Peach something.
Peach
Peach
Fuzz.
Fuzz, the yellow one.
I'd say Peach Fuzz for me because it is a decent film. It's just kind of off my radar, so. But yeah, it is a decent one.
What about you, Curtis? Remember, don't
be
be
honest-
nice. Don't be nice. You have to.
No,
be
of course. I am a huge fan of this film. I would absolutely put this one on Release the Kraken. Definitely.
Okay, well,
So
that's
would
fair enough.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Stick it in.
Release the Kraken as
Do
it's.
it.
I'm not saying it's 2 against 1. It's just 2 people said Release the Kraken, which is fine.
We've basically stubbed Jenks, basically.
Yeah,
for
you've
sure.
basically ganged up me because you both got shit taste and I'm just got sophisticated taste. I only watch things like Schindler's List and
Schindler's List, the found footage version.
yeah, I'd watch that.
So would I. So up next is VHS. That was actually on my list as well. I promise the first 10 are not all mine, although it's kind of looking that way. So VHS, was this on any of your guys' lists?
So
Not on mine, Curtis.
I have gone for a VHS movie, but because I could have just put all the VHS movies in there, right? Because it is my favorite franchise. But I thought I would just pick one, and the other VHS on the list, that's my one.
Right. Okay.
But I love them all.
Yeah, VHS for me is the most memorable one with the most memorable wraparound story as well.
Yes.
I just think there's some quite haunting segments in VHS that I just absolutely love,
definitely.
like the house, the one in the haunted house where people are just coming out of nowhere, coming after them. They're, like you said, they're all really, not all. I've not actually seen the latest 2, but the first 3 that I've only seen the first 3. In fact, I think they're all really strong found footage movies because I think VHS and especially came out at a time when found footage movies were coming out too fast and people were getting sick of them, you know. And I think with that one, it kind of refreshed it and revitalized the found footage franchise and kept it going for a little bit longer. What do you guys think of this one?
Yeah, for me.
Sorry, you go.
So for me is I love the aesthetic of VHS. I love that old retro look, and I love anthology movies. Now, I don't think any of the VHS movies are perfect. Like every single story is top notch, but I'm there for the aesthetic of it. It's an experience watching them. Jenks is sick to death of hearing me talk about this franchise because I bring it up as much as I can because I am a huge fan. I remember the first one coming out and we didn't get it over here for ages because apparently it was banned and people were fainting in cinemas and ambulance were called and stuff like that. And that excitement of going, I'm going to watch a film that people have fainted watching. Obviously it's clickbait shit posts like, but yes, I've loved this franchise since the first one. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. I won't go into the other ones I like because I know they're on the list, but with this one, when I first watched it, I thought it was okay, and I didn't like the fact that, like, I like the weird vampire one with the girl with the big eyes. I think that was the strongest for me.
Yeah.
But I'm like I've said it before. I don't like short stories that don't have a nice wrap, like a nice ending with like a twist or something. It just seems to be almost like chunks of story that don't really have a big twist at the end.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I've went through all the other VHSs and I went back to the first one. I did enjoy it a little bit more the second time round because, like you said, I think by the time you're right, it was oversaturated. And going back now, sometimes with films, not just this film, but anything, comedies and stuff from the past, you might have given them a hard time, and now they turn out to be actually much better than you think because there's so much choice, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, just listening to your guys' thoughts on the film and me comparing it to Paranormal Activity 3, of course. For me, I think it's suitable to go into I Like You, the orange one, for me personally. But again, you guys can decide.
I would agree.
What would you, Curtis? What do you think?
Release the Kraken all day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're outvoted.
But outvoted, I know.
So fuck you.
But that is one of my favorite movies.
However, saying Release the Kraken means that we could go the happy medium and go to Peach Fuzz. But
I'm happy with that.
But twos did say that. It's kind of, what should we do, do you think?
Well, I don't know. It's up to you. It's your thing. But I don't know. I think you've been a bit nice to Curtis.
I know. Nah. Sorry, Curtis. We'll keep it in orange. Yeah, it's 2 against 1. I'm sorry.
It wasn't even my pick anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
You've got a different one on there that might be higher. You never know. Right. Before we go into the next one, let's just quickly go into the chat just in case we're missing any important information. Let's see. Cynthia can't wait to see what we picked. Well, you can see them there, but look forward to seeing what goes up top. Die Shotgun said, I don't believe you. I know Kurt personally. Do you know him personally? I don't know. Well, there's Jordan saying, fellow Sainsbury's lad myself. Thank you very much. That's me and James McAvoy worked together in Sainsbury's.
Oh, he mentioned that.
Really?
Yeah, that's why.
He was on Hot the Spicy thing with Mackenzie Davis talking about Speak No Evil. Yesterday I watched it. And he mentioned Sainsbury's working in the bakery.
You worked with James McAvoy?
Did they mention me? No.
Yeah, first thing he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He worked in the bakery department and I worked in the produce, fruit and veg. We never spoke too much.
Mental.
You know that thing on YouTube, Hot Ones, when he with the newest one where he's doing it with Mackenzie Davis, he's with Speak No Evil, he does mention it in the bakery because he has to eat like a cake and just recognize it.
Yeah, I'm glad they actually mentioned that because when I tell people they don't believe me, well, at least they'll believe me now that he worked in Sainsbury's in the bakery department.
Yeah, and he was wearing a Wolfman Got Nards t-shirt.
Yeah. I might contact him to say, James, do me a favor, come on the channel. Jean says, hello Barry, how you doing, Jean? Good to see you again. Abigail's here. Street Trash is a phenomenal film. Can't wait for the remake. Is there a remake coming out?
No,
it's being released next month.
No way.
It's going to be set it's filmed. It's finished. It was filmed in Cape Town, in Africa, South Africa, and it is being released next month on streaming. Roll on.
Joking? You're not joking?
No, I'm not. No,
you're not joking.
No.
That's so bad. It's bullshit. I call bullshit.
Cult following you, boys. Cult following. I'm carrying that film on my own by the sounds of it.
Ella said, I still haven't seen any of the Paranormal Activity films. I think first 3 are worth watching for definite.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I quite like Next of Kin, to be honest. Not as a Paranormal Activity movie, but it's a decent film.
Oh, I don't like it at all. I'm
What's
glad
that,
it's
the
not on
Amish
the
one?
list. Yeah.
The Amish one, yeah.
Eli says, what's up, Barry? Glad to see you're doing well, my guy. Thanks very much, Eli. Abigail agrees with you, Curtis. All the VHS movies are top tier. Top tier indeed. Hey, Barry, happy to have you back. Happy to be back. Dawn
I love you, Barry.
Dawn says, what about Hell House LLC? Think it's called. Well, you never know.
It is in there.
Someone might have chosen it. Ooh. And Eli says Hell House LLC is legit.
Yes.
Too legit to quit.
Yeah,
yes.
I said it first. That's is that Hot Rod?
Hot Rod, yes.
Yeah. Saying what way?
Saying what weird.
Ben says, sorry I'm late, guys. I've been for a suit fitting. Ooh, for Bundy's wedding.
Thanks.
There you go. Okay. Next up, we've got
Ted Bundy.
I'm really sorry, guys, but I think I was thinking that. I think the first 5 are my choice. That was so random, but
random.
The third one is Lake Mungo. Now, this is a rare one because a lot of people have not seen this.
I haven't seen it.
Right.
It's the only one on the list I haven't seen.
Have you,
I've
Curtis?
Seen
You have.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So for you then, Jenks, and for everybody else, who hasn't seen it. It's an Australian found footage film. It's not the best, but it's one of the most haunting found footage films because of the subject matter about a girl who went missing, and they don't know if she's dead or alive or whatever. And if they think she's dead, they don't know what happened to her. But that's not the scary part. The scary part of Lake Mungo is what happens before a reveal, which I won't mention. But the house they think is haunted, and they put up like cameras in the house to see if they can see anything. And some of the imagery that you see in this, you actually get goosebumps. Even like there's not jump scares. It's just like the camera watching certain parts of the house or the garden. There's one scene I always remember of the garden and somebody at the fence, and I'm sweating when I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, I mean, I know it's fake, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to bed tonight. It's scary. This is a genuinely scary found footage movie. I highly recommend you watch it, Jenks.
Yeah, I will. This is the only one I haven't seen. So I wonder, should it just be between you two for this, the battle? Because it's not really fair.
Yeah, I would guess so. Yeah, if there's some that I haven't seen or Curtis hasn't seen, then there's no point in giving an input. What were you? Well, before we choose, Curtis, do you want to add anything to that, Lake Mungo?
Yeah, so I was very late to the party on this one. It's one I'd always heard people talking about, and it's one that loads of people had recommended to me. And I actually watched it when Second Sight brought out that box set. It's the first time I watched it. I bought that and I watched it. And I think I overhyped it in my head. I think if I watched it when it came out as just this independent found footage movie, I would have enjoyed it more. But everyone built up this like genre defining found footage movie in my head, and I was severely disappointed. I feel like it's a creepy movie that's got that one good scene that everyone talks about. I wouldn't so for me, I would rank this one quite low. Personally, it's not one I really got on with, apart from a good few creepy scenes.
You've upset him now. I can see. Look, he's pissed off. He just crushed one of his cans. You bastard.
One of my Guinness cans.
Yeah, we won't get an invite back again.
Yeah, that's it. I'm actually ending the stream now.
Technical problems.
So, would you taking this to the corner then? Go stand in the corner.
If something has to go last, considering how great the list is, it would have to be Lake Mungo.
But to be honest, I would agree with you. I think Lake Mungo is one of my lesser great films as well. Yeah. So I would agree. I would say I Like You or Go Stand in the Corner. So since you're saying Go Stand in the Corner, then majority rules.
Can I just say one quick thing, off topic slightly, talking about scary shit. I watched Cuckoo last night. Have you seen it yet, Barry?
No, not seen it yet. No.
Have you heard of it? It's quite new. Dan Stevens. It's a really good film, but it has a scare in it. I won't spoil it for anybody. They're one of the best scares I've ever seen or seen for years. And I had a fright, and I just felt like clapping of like, oh, well done, you fucking nailed it.
Oh, really?
And I heard about a specific scare, and I was like, oh, what's this scare? And when you see it, you think, oh, fuck me, that's good. That is top notch. It's really worth watching.
See, I'm hyped for that now.
Yeah, I need to look. I actually want to watch it for this. I heard another person telling us about a scare that they didn't mention to us. That's two people now. So yeah, I think I'll need to watch
because I haven't set up the scene when it's so no one knows when it's coming. But when it hits you, you're like, even if it doesn't scare you, you will go, that is really on the money, like, you know. It's particularly sorry, off topic slightly.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, look at this. Nuclear Poultry Production says, hello, Barry. Lake Mungo is awesome. And it's
should we bring them in as the third person?
Yeah, I think we should. Abigail hasn't seen Lake Mungo. Again, a lot of people haven't seen that film. I think it's one that people should watch for definite and decide for yourself.
Definitely. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So
it seems to have a fair fan base.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, especially for Australians. It's Australians' answer to the Blair Witch.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared now because you convinced me to watch it, but then when Curtis said he didn't like it, I just thought, how bad can it be? How bad? It must be the worst film ever made because if he doesn't like it.
Well, I've just decided Curtis doesn't have any taste.
No. Let me swap where we are on the picture.
Exactly.
It's something. It's at least something, you know.
Oh, that's a good review. It's something.
So,
Curtis Davis.
it's a movie. So next we've got Creep. So let's stick it here for the time being. Creep was, it was one of mine. Sorry, guys, one of mine. For me, though, as Creep is on here, and then looking at your guys' choices and choices that I remember over the past 24 hours, I'm starting to wish I never chose Creep. Not because I don't like it, because I really do like it. But it's not a memorable film. It's not like the best film ever, but it's still good. It's still got a following. I think Creep 1 and 2 together are pretty good. I know that Creep 3 is coming out, or sorry, the TV show is coming out. So there's a story to be told with Creep, and I think with more films and or TV shows, then it can be good. Obviously, with this Peach Fuzz thing and stuff, it's pretty cool. But it's mainly just about a serial killer.
Yeah.
And that's that. I'm underselling this one now, and I don't know why I put it on there. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
I have. I really like this film. I think
Right.
what you're saying is on the money there. I think Mark Duplass carries it. I think I love it so much because of his performance. I enjoy watching him as a character. I think if anyone else was in it, maybe wouldn't have been as good or as engaging.
Yeah.
But quite similar to you, Barry, I think ranking them up against some of the films on the list, it would be lower because it's not as entertaining. But it is one that I've chucked back on and shown people, you know. I quite like this film a lot.
I like this film, and I liked it enough to watch the sequel. And I like the fact that they're very short. I think they're only like 79 minutes, old school. A little bit like Monster Squad, 79 minutes. I've always remembered that.
Same.
I always thought, oh, that's strange, 79 minutes. Anyway, I like short films. I did like it, but I think you're right, Barry. It kind of is the weakest of the bunch, even the fact that it's still decent, and I would recommend it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing about this list now. As we're going through it, we're kind of evolving how we're ranking these. I think it's good to rank them against each other because that's ultimately what we're having to do. And I think to me,
we're going to have to.
Yeah, I still think it's the grey. Go stand in the corner. But you guys, if you guys have got a different...
I agree. Yeah.
I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to agree. Like you said, Barry, if we are ranking them against each other, I'm going to have to put it on bottom. It's going to have to.
Yeah.
You swear this was serious and the stakes are really high. We just got to do it. Yeah. We have to let them.
Well, at least we're unanimous. That's our first unanimous choice.
I take this stuff seriously, okay, Jenks? To me, it is high stakes, all right?
Yeah.
High stakes.
High stakes, yes.
So this is when we start getting controversial, guys. Chernobyl Diaries. Now, this is yet again my choice. Sorry. This is one of my guilty pleasures because I know that this film is considered one of the worst found footage movies ever made. But for me, I love one of my favorite subgenres in a horror film, whether it's in a found footage or not, is isolation. If you're isolated, that adds to the elements of horror for me. But when you mix that in with a found footage film and you've left these people in Chernobyl, of all places around the world, how much better can you get? Of course, the execution near the end, I feel like, went off. But I think the whole scenario of how they got there, why they're going there, and then being stranded in Chernobyl without the safety gear, that's just horrifying to me, whether it's found footage or not. Totally underrated in my eyes. But what do you guys think of Chernobyl Diaries?
Yeah, I see what your point, like, because if you think of like The Descent, you can take away the monsters and it's still a terrifying movie just by potholing, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%. I didn't mind this film. I didn't hate it. I don't really remember much about it. I think I was half watching. I did watch it. I might have dozed off towards the end, so it didn't have massive impact, but I didn't have anything particularly negative to say. Then it just was like one of those films.
That's positive.
Yeah, I'm on the exact same page as you there, Barry. I quite like this film. It's got a great setting. It's one I absolutely jumped on, especially coming off the back of, you got Oren Peli, obviously done the original Paranormal Activity,
Yep.
and a found footage movie set in Chernobyl where you've got radioactive, what do you want to call them?
Nuclear fallout.
Yeah, nuclear fallout. It's just one of the best settings I've seen in a found footage movie. I don't know how much you need the story to be deep in a found footage film. Just give me a great setting with creepy imagery, and I'm there. Like,
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah, me too. Now it's time to put this on the list then, guys. Let's Jinx gave it the least positive.
Yeah.
So what would you put it, Jinx?
I'd say top 10. No, I'm joking.
Yay!
The lowest, yes. It's not terrible, but
This one.
it's forgettable.
Right. What about you, Curtis?
I Like You. This is a very entertaining film.
Where are we putting that?
I'd put it there.
I Like You.
Yeah, that's what I would put it.
What about you, Barry?
I'm going to go with I Like You as well. I'm happy with that.
That's sweet, people.
Yeah. I Like You.
Oh.
now it's time to put this in order. Right. So finally, one that's not mine. This is The Tunnel. I don't know whose this is.
This is mine. Yeah.
Yours, Cut. Right. So you can lead the way. This is one I haven't seen. So
yeah,
bear that in mind.
So I watched this movie about 2 weeks ago. It's came out in 2011, I think, but it's one that just escaped me. I think it was coming out around the time where we were getting like 10 found footage movies a month.
Yeah.
And this is one that just slipped under the net. And whenever I can find one that looks half decent, I will jump on it because I do love found footage. And I chucked it on in bed with my girlfriend, and it absolutely blew me away because I wasn't expecting much. Because this is how smug I am. I'm like, if I haven't seen this yet, it's not going to be good. But it's set in Australia. It's another Australian found footage movie, and it's basically the film starts. We've got this journalist who's investigating the government because they were planning on using the underground tunnels, all the old underground tunnels, to recycle water back into the Australian community. But they shut the project down and they completely got rid of everything. So this news reporter gathers a few of her friends to go investigate it. And obviously they break into the underground tunnels to see what's going on because nobody will give them any answers. There's homeless people who were living down there have now gone missing and absolutely no one will speak to them. So they go down in the night in these underground tunnels. And then I'd say 80% of the movie is just them in these dark old, they look like at one point they got turned into World War II bunkers. So there's rooms, empty, dusty rooms with toilets in there and like old rustic beds. It's just got such a great setting, but there is something in the tunnels that's been picking off the homeless people. And there's a reason the government basically stopped their project to recycle the water that was down there.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised by how much I enjoyed this. And I screamed at least 6 times. And I mean, not a manly scream.
Yeah. Hands
yes, so I would absolutely put this one on Release the Kraken.
I watched this only a few weeks ago. I think it's either on Shudder or Amazon Prime, one of the things.
Shudder, yeah.
Shudder. I didn't mind it. I don't love it as much as you. I got a bit sleepy towards the end. But it was okay. But again, I forgot about it. I didn't recommend it to anybody. So I would probably put it on the low end for me, the grey. Where do you put it on, Kurt?
Well, to be honest, me talking about it, I just like oversold it in my head. I would probably put it on Peach Fuzz, not the best, but I just hyped myself up talking about it then. I got excited, but I would have to rank it Peach Fuzz.
So if I'm the lowest one, you're Peach, would it be fair to put I Like You?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, because you haven't seen it, Barry.
No, haven't seen it.
Yes.
So I can't even.
So it must be
yes. I think I Like You is fair.
Yeah.
Fair shout. Yeah.
That's fine. I wish I had something to add to it, but it does sound good. I love Australian films, so an Australian horror found footage is up my alley. So we'll go on next. Now, there is still quite a lot, so we'll try and get through them a little bit faster, guys. Apologies. I don't want you to be here till 2 a.m. But we're we're good. So next one is Rec or Record. Now, I had this on my list, but I'm sure somebody else had it on their list as well.
I did, yeah. I
You
had
did,
this one.
right?
It was
Okay.
initially on my list as well, but I had to make room for something better.
Something else, something worse.
Something-
So Rec for me, off the bat, is fantastic. Now, I
Yes.
actually watched Quarantine first in the cinema with
Really?
Jennifer. Yeah, I watched it at the cinema, and I was telling my wife this is a remake of a Spanish film called Record, and we were in the cinema watching Quarantine. We thought that was actually pretty decent. Well, I wonder what the Spanish version is like. We got home at midnight, we stuck it on, and we were hooked because it was brilliant. We're like, oh my god, this is my wife doesn't like horror films, but she was hooked to Record. There's just something about it that's just non-stop. Even before it's non-stop, it's got that great slow build-up of what's happening here. Like, are they going to get
Yeah.
locked in this apartment building? I actually went to the apartment building in real life as well.
Oh,
which is
really?
great.
Really?
Yeah, it's in Barcelona.
Oh, cool.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Great horror zombie found footage movie, very unique. And I think with the film being in subtitles, what I love about this is they speak so fast, yet you still read all the words. And because you're reading all the words, you don't miss anything. You don't miss what they're saying because you're so invested in what they're saying and what they're doing as you're watching it and reading it at the same time. Brilliant film. What about you guys?
Yeah, and do you know what's special about this one is that the actors on set, I think the majority of the film, they weren't given a script. They were just sent into a room, and the majority of their reactions were real reactions because they didn't actually know what the next scene was going to be. Which obviously amplifies everything in this film because you're getting real, genuine reactions.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite horror movies ever. Like, regardless of found footage, I'd put it in my top 20 movies of all time. It's a fantastic movie.
Now, Kurt, we've been through this. There's not enough room in your top 20, okay?
Leave me alone, Jenks, all right? Just leave me alone.
This is bursting at the seams. I love this film. I would say that of all the remakes, the Quarantine is pretty close. If you can't be bothered to read subtitles, Quarantine is still really good. It's very close. But I love Rec. I've seen it a few times. And it's a top-notch zombie movie. Not so keen about the sequel, but this is really good. 28 Days Later vibe to it. And I like the fact there's a camera crew, documentary crew, and they're not going to put the camera down. That, they're built to take, film wars and all sorts of things. You can believe that they would keep rolling. I love it. It's a good choice.
Wasn't Quarantine 2 set on a plane?
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a feeling, that was one of those films that was a different script and they chucked the title on, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So I think we're kind of going towards the cracking here. What about you guys?
I say top 10.
Yeah.
Top all day. One of the best found footage movies ever made, easily.
We'll put it here then. Really, again, we'll
Why
be deciding
didn't I
that.
pick it? Why did I ditch it?
I have no idea, Jenks.
You're kind of you're selling the movie to me, and I was the one that added it to the list.
Do you know what it is? You know why I ditched it? Not because I don't like it, because I just didn't want to be picking all the same ones, and I wanted to be have the list a little bit different in some of my picks. So yes, good choice.
Right.
But, yeah.
So next, I think this is yours again, Curtis. VHS 2.
Yes, this is mine. Jenks, am I allowed to say this is one of my favorite movies?
No, you've said it enough.
Top 20.
All right.
Just give the link of on our old videos where you've mentioned it, and that's we'll move on.
I quite like this film. It's okay. No, this is my favorite of the VHS 2 franchise. VHS 2 franchise.
There's only one of them in the VHS 2 franchise.
Enough.
This is my favorite VHS movie. It's my favorite anthology film. It's my favorite found footage movie. I'm a huge fan of this one. It's easy, top 10. All right. This is the most consistent VHS movie. Scares from Curtis was the granny. We don't talk about the granny. If any of you have seen that, oh my god! Right.
Anyway, so
crack on.
Right. So VHS 2 is the most consistent VHS. I think every single segment is strong, and I'm a massive fan of Gareth Evans and Timo, and they obviously teamed up to do Safe Haven. That is my favorite short film of all time. It's the one where they go to the Indonesian school, like the cult school. that is just absolute nightmare fuel. And I think they did a fantastic job on that one. That is my favorite segment in the film. I think it makes the film as a whole better, but it's definitely the most consistent one. I love it.
Remind me, I actually really liked VHS 2, but is this the one where there's a couple on their bikes in the woods?
Yes, the zombie
one.
first person.
And they get the wires on their eyes or something?
Is it the GoPro one? With
Yeah,
the
the GoPro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
did.
so he turns into a zombie, yeah. But I actually met Gareth Evans a few months ago. I went to a screening of The Raid, and I went up to him to have a chat with him, got him to sign a few stuff for The Raid, and I just ended up talking about VHS 2 because I was like, I need to know, and we ended up chatting about what he did to make it, and yeah, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the best VHS movie by a country mile. The others are pants in comparison, even though there's some good segments in all of them. This one, I wish they kind of kept the quality of this. Like, I know you love them all, but this is so much higher than the other ones. Like I said, I know you love them all, Kurt, but if you put them in a list, you could see this is just so much above. There's 4 stories and they're all strong. And the weakest one that you think, the one, I guess, the eye, what did he do? Does he have an eye transplant or something?
Eye transplant.
I remember that, yeah.
Like, you thought that was quite a weak one. That's like my favorite one. That's how strong it is. You know, the weakest one is my favorite. And I did enjoy this one, definitely. Yeah.
Right.
What about you, Barry?
Well, yeah, it's not as memorable to me as VHS, but funnily enough, I do remember watching VHS 2 at the time and thinking that's better than VHS 1. But then over the years, I think VHS 1 is more memorable. Just like I could just remember that more. Not seen VHS 2 in a long time. I've watched VHS 1 a couple of times, so I do remember that, but I can't really gauge. However, I do remember thinking it was great at the time, and I can only go off my first experience. So I thought it was brilliant when I first watched it. So what were we thinking then?
I'd say maybe I Like You or Peach.
And I guess you're Release the Kraken then, Curtis?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll meet you halfway. I'd say Peach Fuzz.
I'll agree on Peach Fuzz.
I'll say Peach Fuzz as well, because again, I did like it when I watched it. Is that okay?
Yes, I'm more than happy with that.
You got no choice.
Those
are the rules.
Those are the rules. Next up, we've got The Visit. Did any of you guys have The Visit on your list?
Yeah, we both. Yeah.
It was on my list, but I ditched it.
Yeah, it was on my list as well.
Ditch, man, Jesus!
I gotta make rooms. You 10 choices.
Yeah, that's true. So The Visit, I'll start with The Visit. I'll try and make it quick, sorry. Visit is a film that I wasn't too keen on watching because M. Night Shyamalan was on a slow decline at that point. And I thought, oh my goodness, M. Night Shyamalan, who's bringing out crap after crap lately, and now he's bringing in a found footage movie that's almost dead. Found footage at 2015 was almost dead at the time. But I gave it a chance because I feel like the 2 leads in the film, who were also in Better Watch Out together, they were so charismatic together. They felt like genuine brother and sister in the film. So I was on that journey with those 2 kids because they were fantastic. And then in true M. Night Shyamalan fashion, he hit us with a twist that I didn't see coming. I didn't think there was going to be a twist. I won't mention it. In this film, and it blew me away because it's so simple and obvious until you it's not obvious until you see it. But I thought it was great. So creepy, fantastic acting, great twist. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I love this film. I definitely returned to form. I don't love it. I like it a lot. The twist is brilliant. Like you said, I never saw it coming, but it's kind of in plain sight. Not as sophisticated as like The Sixth Sense, but it's still there all along. And it's a strong film. Probably the last great film he did. I haven't really liked anything after it. They've all been okay, but this is my the first 3 films he did, and these are my top 4 for me, definitely.
Yes, it's a great film, and it's a nice change. I mean, the majority of found footage movies are either ghosts or monsters, so it's a nice change to have such a normal setting. You've got siblings in a house with their grandparents. Their grandparents are acting up. And that's as simple as it gets. And it was a nice change, but somehow we still managed to make it creepy. There's so many unsettling scenes in there, like when the kids are in the barn and their granddad is sitting there with a shotgun in his mouth.
Yeah.
Why has he got a shotgun in his mouth?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many great moments in this film. I'm a huge fan of this one.
Yeah, same.
I'd say put it in I Like You.
That's really low.
I'd go for Peach Fuzz. Peach Fuzz.
I'll go for Peach Fuzz.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sorry, Jakes.
it's all right. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It doesn't look fine.
Are you angry?
I know it's gonna happen now. I'm last on the list now. I'll be whizzing through mine. Like, what do you think? Oh, come on.
Go stand in the corner. Go stand in the corner. Next, we've got Paranormal Activity Deuce, Part 2.
Yes.
Who had that? I didn't have it on my list.
Yes, I had that one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. You start us off then, Curtis.
Yeah. So talking about the third one earlier, I think I do actually prefer the third one, but I did pick number 2. I still love number 2, and what I love about this one is I remember the first one coming out. It terrified me in cinema. When the second one came round, I went back to cinema to watch it, and this one scared me even more. Like with more sequels, you have to amplify things. You have to take things to the next level. Okay, we scared people with this in the first one. How can we take that to the next level? Yeah. And I just feel like Paranormal Activity 2 did everything right to take it to the next level. And for me, I'm not someone who thinks less is better. I've always wanted more. I think that's why I don't like the original Blair Witch, but I like Adam Wingard's Blair Witch because I want to see more action. So Paranormal Activity 2 delivered what I loved about the first one, but did it better, in my opinion.
I liked it. I didn't love it. I think the first one's the strongest, but it's decent. You know, I would recommend
the baby being dragged out of the cot. There's nothing scarier.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
and the dog back in. Oh.
Sometimes I think less is more in films. However, I agree with you, Curtis. I think in a film like the Paranormal Activity franchise, is sometimes less isn't more, because Paranormal Activity gave us so little that you couldn't get any less. So I think the only way was given is more, and they did that with Paranormal Activity 2. However, I think the shock factor was gone for Paranormal Activity in the sense that we got the story that we wanted and they'd expanded on it, which was great. However, there was just something about Part 2 that I didn't love as much as 1. Now, I love, and I truly mean this, I love Paranormal Activity 2 as well, but I feel like the first one's just a little bit stronger for me. So I thought it was great, but not the best. So
I would stick it Stand Against the Wall. Now, not in a bad way. It's a good film, but something's got to go there.
What about you, Curtis?
I would put it in Peach Fuzz.
Peach Fuzz.
Personally, yeah.
I would actually put it in I Like You.
There we are. I think that's a happy medium, to be fair.
Yeah.
Stick in the middle.
Let's stick in the middle, because I can see your point for Peach Fuzz, and I can also see your point, Jinx, for the corner. I would say just stick it in the middle because that's a safe option. Doesn't mean it won't make the top 10 though. It might still. So there you go. So the next one is Milk and Cereal. Now,
yes.
Whose is this?
That's mine, yeah.
Yours, right. I actually watched this one last week because of all the hype around it. I'll start with this one because it's going to be quick. I didn't like it. I was expecting something great because of the reviews it was getting. And when I watched it, I just felt like it was an amateur attempt at a found footage film that fell flat in its face. That's my full review.
Yeah,
Sorry.
That's fair enough. No. I really like this one, and I think I like this so much because the two guys in it, I've been following them for a while, some of the other stuff they've been doing, but they made this film for $400, just got a few friends together. I thought the story was really engaging. I quite liked Something Curry, his performance. I thought it was brilliant. And to be honest, guys, it was just nice to see a new found footage movie, and I thought it did everything right for what it had.
Yeah.
But this was a bit of a standout movie for me. I really enjoyed it.
For me, I'd say I was watching with like two eyes. I was watching as a found footage fan, and I was watching it in the sense that like supportive of a very low budget new indie filmmaker. See it rather than like on a Hollywood sort of, stage. But I did like it. I have forgotten about it quite quickly, but I did have a lot of respect for it because of, like I said, the budget, and I like an hour-long movie. I wish there was more hour-long movies. It's just so nice. It's just like an episode or something. But I would stick this in the lower end, though. For me, Stand Against the Corner.
Yeah, I don't think I'm winning this one of my boys.
Well, again, if you guys are agreeing on something, then great. But I appreciate the effort. It's not easy to make a film, not easy at all, especially one that's going to gain a lot of traction like Milk and Cereal did. But I feel like the traction that it gained went against the film itself. I think if nobody watched this film and I stumbled upon this on YouTube, I'd be like, that's a pretty good effort for a couple of guys making a found footage film. But the fact that it's got so hyped up to the point where it's almost mainstream, even though it's not, I just didn't like it for that reason. So,
100%. It's all about setting your expectations from what's being given to you. And like you see an article from Bloody Disgusting on this movie, and then you hear that they've been hired to do a Hollywood movie from the guys who produced, I can't remember what, some big, 47 Meters Down. And you're thinking, this film's got to be great. And then obviously you watch it and it's not going to deliver.
Yeah. Oh, I can see there's a comment here. I want to read this out, right? So, Jibber Jabber Podcast, welcome to the chat. He said, first Paranormal Activity scared me. There were no credits. Now, we will get into that later, but I'm going to say this now. There was no credits in the cinema. However, on the Blu-ray, there's 11 or 20 minutes of credits or whatever it is. And I'm in the credits for the film because, I'm in the credits. I've actually screenshot it and everything because it was my pride and joy at the time. I was on IMDb for it at a time, and then they removed everyone's credits because it was too many. But you get credited on the Blu-ray for it if you demanded it in your city. So when the film came out in 2009, I know it's a 2007 movie, came out in 2009, but you had to demand it to come out in your city. So I demanded it for Glasgow, and it was selected for a Glasgow release. So because of that, everyone who demanded it for that city would get their name in the end credits on the Blu-ray. So I am credited.
How'd you go? How'd you go about demanding? Just on the street there?
Gimme. It was on the website. It was on the Paranormal Activity website at the time. You just put your name, your email address, and your city that you demand it to be in, and if enough people do it, then it gets released in your city. So thanks to me, just a little smidgen.
That's all.
We got it in Glasgow.
So let me get this straight, right? So you used to work with James McAvoy, and you were once credited on Paranormal Activity for bringing it to the people of Glasgow.
Yes. So
amazing stuff, Barry. I'm just going to
leave now. You're working with Twisted Locker. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm only going
pinch yourself.
Up and up, The sky's the limit now. So yeah, sorry, that was just a quick fun fact there. Sorry guys, I went off tangent. Milk and Cereal though, where are we putting this one?
The lowest one for me. Not that it's bad, deserve it, give it credit, but I feel bad because they're in like the YouTube space and you kind of want to be supportive.
No, I wouldn't think you're crazy for putting it there. Look, we're putting in this film up against some of the greatest found footage movies ever. I would actually put it in I Like You because I can't rank it above the majority of these movies, but I'm happy for it to go at the bottom.
Right.
Something's got to go last.
It's definitely that for me. I'm only joking. Next one is Afflicted. Is this yours, Curtis?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to start with this one, if that's okay, because I've only seen it once. And it was ages ago, and I don't actually remember too much about it, unfortunately. Is it a guy who gets a disease or something?
Vampire.
Yeah, it's a vampire disease.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So I don't remember too much about it. I can vaguely rank it, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys if it's fresher for you.
Yeah, of course. This is one I've gone back to a lot. I think we've been watching this one for a long time, Jenks. This is one we always talk about.
Yeah.
It's got a great origin story. It feels like a superhero film because basically it's about a guy who gets like a vampire virus. And obviously, with being a vampire, he can jump high, he's extra strong. And it feels quite like Chronicle in a way, because they're having fun with his powers. He's jumping up buildings, he's picking up heavy things. But then obviously he gets the craving for blood, and they start off small. He tries, drinking the blood of a rabbit to see if that would help him. But obviously he realizes he's got to drink human blood. And that's where the film starts to get dark then, and it turns into a horror movie. But yeah, it's one of the most original found footage movies ever, because you're not expecting it. You're not expecting the movie to go that way. And I will say one thing: it's got a fantastic standoff with a SWAT team in a flat. It's such a great, well put together scene. Oh my God, it blew me away the first time I seen it.
I like this film a lot. It's very good. I did enjoy it a lot, and my wife did as well. We watched it together years ago, but I haven't gone back to it. Sometimes it's not that the film is bad; it just doesn't cross your path again, and it kind of goes off your radar a little bit. But it is good. I like the bit where he first discovers that he's allergic to sunlight, and he's burning up, and he's running to get into the shade, into water.
Yeah,
it is a good film, and I would say it's pretty underrated. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And for me, again, I remember liking it, but I don't remember much about it. So, and I can't really say too much about it because I'd be lying. So, I remember liking it though, if that helps.
I would.
Yeah, go on, Jenks. I'm struggling.
Oh, I would put it in I like you. That's what I would put it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
I remember liking it as well. So
there we are. That was an easy one.
Yeah, brilliant. I've not seen this one either. Jeez, Deadstream. Oh, I'm letting you guys down now.
Watch him now, because he'll be talking for 20 minutes on this fucker. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's obsessed.
I am obsessed with this film.
Yeah,
I'll make it as quick as I can, right? So
Okay,
this is one of the newest found footage movies on the list. It is, I think it only came out last year. I've already watched it about 6 times. I absolutely love this film. It's quite a small independent movie that was released on Shudder. It's basically about an online influencer that gets cancelled, and he comes up with an idea to get his viewership back. He goes and finds the most haunted house in America, locks himself in for the night, sets it up with cameras, and he just tries to disrupt the area, tries to, piss off ghosts and do whatever he can just to get his views back. And what's great about this one is that the main guy's performance in it, who's also the director, he is just so funny, so charismatic, and he just carries this film on his back. But what's great about it is that shit does start happening, and it's funny when it needs to be, but then when it's most important, it's terrifying. But what's great is that bad shit starts happening, but because bad stuff is happening, his viewership is flying up, and he's thinking, oh my God, I can get all my fans back. So he stays and he disrupts them even more, makes it worse. And it turns into like Evil Dead 2, because he just runs around like a bumbling idiot through this house. And I know what you say, Jenks, the end gets a little bit silly, but for me, that's when it gets better, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I like this film. I've seen it once. I haven't gone back to it. I think, like you just said, the end it's very creepy, and he's brilliant in it. Those two are fact. He is so good, but it goes way too brain dead, Evil Dead, demons and stuff. And I preferred it when it was just straight up sort of Paranormal Activity level of ghostly things, the odd figure. But when it comes to like monsters and stuff, it just went too far for me. Yeah.
You make me want to
So
watch
obviously,
it. Sounds good.
It's amazing. But so honestly, for me, I am going to put it on Release the Crack. And I know we're not going to agree on that. But beside VHS 2, this is my favourite found footage movie.
Right.
You haven't seen it, Barry, you said, is it?
Nope. So this is down to you where we average
I would
it.
stick it on Go Stand in the Corner.
As if.
You're
lying.
Yeah. I'm not.
Really?
I'll meet you kind of halfway. I like you.
So I've got to stoop down to your level of you can't go up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm older than you. Okay.
What I'll do is I'll decide then. I'll make it, since obviously it's 3 of us now. Apologies, Jenks. I feel like I would like it more than what you would like it, even though I've not seen it.
I think I've fucking bullshit.
I've got Curtis's taste a little bit more than you. I'm going to go for Peach Fuzz.
But
okay.
but because I love it so much, I think it deserves to be higher.
Alright.
Yeah.
We're live now. Everyone can see this bullying going on, right? Live, okay?
To be honest, that is one of his favourites in the found footage, so I think it deserves to be a little bit higher.
Barry, apparently it's in his top 20.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for saying I don't like milk and cereal, so I'm trying to help him out.
Have I got any of my picks in this yet? I think I've been turfed out of this.
No,
show.
They're all coming. They're all coming.
This is why we're saving this, because yours are all going to be up in this top level.
Best. Everyone's tired. Yeah, they've all tuned out. Oh, fuck it. This fucking show's going on for an hour.
Right. Well, speaking of Jenks, we've got Unfriended. Is that yours?
Oh, yeah, it's mine. Again, I didn't pick a few of Curtis's ones because I wanted it to be as, versatile as we could.
Yeah.
Unfriended is excellent. It shouldn't be as good as it is. The sequel's even good as well. But the first
Dark Web,
one,
innit? Yeah.
yeah, the first. Have you seen it, Barry?
Yeah, I've not seen the second one. I've seen the first one.
Second one's excellent. The first one, it's just all. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's all basically through a computer, through messaging and videos, and all you see is the screen. Bit like that film Searching and Missing, where they're just trying to solve the puzzle, and it's got supernatural elements, but it's so subtle. And it shouldn't work. It's not like a normal found footage. It's just looking at somebody's screen. But my God, it's so effective. And even though it probably cost pennies to make, and it's got a simple premise, I couldn't fathom how I'd make that entertaining in my wildest dreams. And they nailed it. And I love it for that.
I'm the same. I think you've taken all the words out of my mouth, even comparing it to the film Searching. I was going to compare it to Searching as well with the way it plays out.
Yeah.
Great premise. If somebody gave me £1,000 to say, here's £1,000, make a film and make it like Unfriended, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. So great film. Brilliant.
I would, Kurt.
Yeah, same as you two boys. I think it's a fantastic film. Again, I say again, I actually prefer the sequel, Dark Web. That one was terrifying because the Dark Web is a scary place, and some of the shit they find in that film. But yeah, they're both
doing on the Dark Web, Kurt? Nothing.
Next.
Sweating.
Me personally, I would put this on I Like You.
I would put it on Peach. No, do you honest, Kurt? I will agree with you. It's really good, but there is some strong films. So I'm going to say I Like You as well.
Okay, I'm happy to do both. I would stretch to Peach Fuzz if anybody wanted, but I'm happy with I Like You as well.
Yeah, I got too many good ones on the list. I'm going to be ruthless.
Okay, next up we've got Blair Witch from 2016.
Finally, one of my ones. My God.
Well, that's 2 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
You've been spoiled.
I got a very short memory.
Very, very. So, you can kick this one off then, Jenks.
This is another underrated gem. This, I think people were done with Blair Witch. I got a Blair Witch tattoo. Don't judge me.
I won't.
From 2000. I think people were done with Blair Witch because the sequel was so shit and so much time had passed, and there'd been so many found footage movies since it, some better, some worse. This came along and people sort of kind of shit on it pretty quick. I don't know why. I've watched it loads of times. It's really good. Yes, you could argue it's too much ghost, because in the first one there's very much like a question mark. This is straight up horror, but who gives a shit? It's just really good, and there's the scene when she's stuck in the mud underground. It's horrifying. I love this film.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a huge fan of this one. And what I love about this one is that I was riding that wave of Adam Wingard. He'd done You're Next and The Guest, VHS. And then he was doing a Blair Witch movie, but it was originally called The Woods. Yes. Or at least that it was a surprise. Surprise. So they released a trailer of the Blair Witch, but it was called The Woods. And I was really disappointed when it was announced to be the Blair Witch because I knew people would be raging. And lo and behold, you look at the comments and everybody's going crazy. And I'm thinking, this is where Adam Wingard is going to start to go downhill. He's going to ruin everyone's favorite original movie. I went and seen it in cinema. I shit myself. I go back to this movie yearly. It is one of the better found footage movies out there. And it just gives me everything, like I said earlier, everything I wanted from the first one. I like to see more stuff. and it just keeps giving you good shit, and it's a genuinely creepy film. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, totally agree with you guys. I'm the same. When I first watched the trailer for it called The Woods, and then they announced it was actually Blair Witch, I thought that was a good marketing strategy because they obviously can't replicate what they've done in the first one.
Yeah.
They need to change it
Yeah.
up a bit. So I think that was acceptable, something new and thinking outside the box. When I watched the film, I thought it was fantastic. I was not scared, but I
Yes.
got a few frights. And this is what I hated about social media at the time. Now, you'll remember this guy, well, maybe you, Jenks, but in 1999, after the Blair Witch came out, the complaints that people had for the original film was, I wanted to see the witch.
Yeah.
So then we saw the witch in Blair Witch, and what was the complaints? I didn't
Yeah.
want to see the witch.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you wanted to, you didn't want
I
to.
know.
So I think Blair Witch gave us a happy medium because even though we saw the Blair Witch, we
Yes.
didn't see her enough to really see her. We just saw her,
Yeah.
knowing that she was there. So many things that I wanted to see in the Blair Witch project, I got in Blair Witch.
Yeah.
And when you put two of them together, it's the perfect combination.
And to me,
Yeah,
I think
I love sorry, just a quick one.
yeah.
I love how aggressive it is in this film as well. Like when the trees are being knocked over and their tents are flying up in the air. Like I love how like nasty and aggressive it is in this film, and that's what I like especially more about this one.
And you know what I like about this as well is that if you want to disconnect this from the first one, you can. It doesn't have to sort of accompany it. I like the time dilation element as well, where they've been stuck in the woods and time is not moving correctly, and those things that got freak me out. But like the Endless and all those sort of films, horrible. The thing to be trapped in some kind of loop, horrible.
Yeah. You've even got a little bit of body horror in it as well. That girl's got the foot infection. And then your
Yeah,
little
of course.
worm thing comes out it.
It's like the ruins in it when they're pulling the
Yeah,
vines out of
yeah.
his skin. Yeah,
good.
So it's got everything in it. I think it's great. Very underrated. Probably the one of the most underrated found footage films that we've got here.
See, I told you
Yeah.
my choices were top notch.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I am absolutely putting that one on Release the Crack, and I think especially out of these films, it's one of my favorite found footage movies compared to the rest.
I would put it on Peach.
I'm going to say Release the Kraken.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
Sorry, I had to do it. I just
I
talking
changed my
about
choice,
it there, just it kind of spurred me on to watch it again.
I'll take it.
It's your choice anyway, so there you go.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to be very objective.
I know. Yeah, I mean, it could easily make Peach Fuzz, but I think the three of us between us like it enough for it to be acceptable.
Yes. Good call.
On the Kraken. So next we've got What We Do in the Shadows.
Now
that's yours, Jenks.
Yes. I mean, I know this is documentary. It's the same thing. When I was making this list, I was thinking, are documentaries included? Of course they are, isn't it? Fake documentaries. So, yeah. This is a great film. Loads of people have seen this. It's quite mainstream now because there's a TV show, which is also great. But this Taika Waititi's movie is so good about vampires, very old-fashioned vampires living in New Zealand in a house share, and the rest of the world is as normal as you can make it, like sort of the Office level of normal. But they're living in this sort of movie like environment, and it is so funny. I love this film. It's not as good. The series is very good. It's not as good. The film is hysterical. Have you seen it, Barry?
I have, yeah. It came out of nowhere for me because I heard about the TV show and I thought, well, I think we need to watch the movie first. So I've still not seen the TV show, but I watched the movie and my sides were splitting because it was absolutely hilarious. I can't remember his name, but the human, is his name Neil or something?
Stu. Is it Stuart?
Stu.
Yeah. And he gets bitten and he keeps on like being sick and stuff like that.
Oh no, not him. No, Stuart's the boring guy who does the computers, who just lives.
Yeah.
Not him. No, I think his name's Neil or something.
Yeah, chips.
Well, he's complaining he can't eat chips.
Can't
eat chips. Can't eat chips.
He's raging. Yeah. He's my favorite. But yeah, that's a funny film. I personally wouldn't have made it a horror found in my horror list, but as a horror, I just never thought about it being part of a horror.
It's vampires. I mean, what's the criteria?
Have you seen Twilight? Hilarious
Yes.
though. Hilarious. What about you,
Yeah.
Curtis?
I'm a massive fan of this
Oh,
movie. It's
yeah.
one I go back to a lot.
We
It
talk
is
about this
one
a
of
lot.
the funniest movies ever. I think I don't want to say it balances horror and comedy very well. It is just a comedy, but with
Yeah.
vampires in there.
Mhm.
And it is just one of the funniest movies ever made. I feel like I'm watching a group of friends that got together and they were all coming up with the funniest bits they could possibly come up with.
Yes.
And it just works so well. I was reading online that they had to cut it down from like 7 hours of footage down to the film that they had because they just could not stop filming. They had so much content to get through. But yeah, it's a fantastic film. It is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I would put on Release the Kraken, but I'm kind of with Barry on the sense of like if you're going for like found footage horror movies, it isn't one that crossed my mind.
Is it though? I think everybody needs to know, Curtis. Is it in your top 20?
No.
21.
Okay, then I would say it's a perfect movie, but if it's going to lose points that it's not scary at all or any sort of horror, I'm willing to take the hit and go to Peach Fuzz.
I'm willing for Peach Fuzz.
Yeah, more than happy with Peach
It's
Fuzz.
painful to see, but I can see your point, Kurt.
Yeah. One other thing about What We Do in the Shadows, do you know, I can't remember the guy's name. It's an actor that I love. He looks like Hugh Jackman. He's Australian and he's in Yes Man and
Yes,
Jumanji.
yes.
And he's a
I know
werewolf
him.
in this.
Yes.
Werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
Well,
do-
he's in loads of stuff. He's in the
Jumanji.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Welcome to
Jumanji.
Jumanji. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does those adverts as well.
They
Yes.
did that Blackbeard show as well, him and Taika. Blackbeard. I
they're
think it's literally
friends.
just called Blackbeard. Yeah, they must be. They did another
Yeah.
show together about Blackbeard. That was
Yeah,
good.
I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Similar humor.
He's got a real, maybe he's from New Zealand as well because he's got a funny sounding name.
Yeah,
or
I
it's
think he is.
spelt weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, next we've got Paranormal Activity, the first one that I'm credited for. So I might be a little biased with this one. So this is my movie.
Weren't you, Barry?
What's that?
On the cover of it, no?
Yeah, I doubled for Mika.
I thought you were the ghost that you didn't see.
I'm the ghost under the sheet. You can see my hand.
Yeah, you pull it out of the bed.
That's me. I think, did more than one of us have that on our list? I had it on my list.
Yeah, I think we all did. I think it was
Did we?
the
No,
go-to one.
I just went number 2. I did. I
Two,
didn't want to
yeah.
put more than one on.
Yeah, I think this is a great film. I think it's the best one of the bunch. I think it's very creepy. I like not seeing a lot. The only bit I don't like is when they set fire to the ghost sets fire to the Ouija board, and I thought it was a bit too much, considering the tone was very much you don't see a lot, and it was just a little bit too much. But when she gets dragged out of the bed, that's fantastic. Oh my god, it's so simple, and it sounds shit in comparison to like other things that happen in movies, but in the context of the film, that scene is horrifying. Really good film. I love it.
I don't know how professional of an actor that these people were, but I think Katie was very convincing. I thought she was great.
Yes, definitely.
Her screams when she was getting pulled out of the bed, shouting, Mika! I was like, Jesus, this feels real. This actually does feel real. I think we've spoken about Paranormal Activity in bits throughout this live stream.
Yeah.
I think we can kind of all agree that it is a really good
Yes.
found footage movie. But what about you, Curtis, then? I think you're maybe the one we're having to convince.
Yeah,
It's
so
not on your list.
I prefer 2 and 3 to the first one. So I would either rank it on I Like You with the second one. I feel like if the second one's on I Like You, I can't rank it above that one because I do prefer the second one.
That's fair.
I would stick it on I Like You. I'm happy to I never owned it, but I do like it and I do talk about it, but I would happily stick it on I Like You next to number 2.
Personally, I would put it on Release the Kraken because it's my movie. But yeah, I'm okay with I Like You. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not crying. You're crying. Okay. Next up, we've got the hostess with the mostess.
Did I put this?
Yeah, I picked this one as well. I think this was a doubler.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So both of you picked this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Barry?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it's the 59-minute one, I think.
Yeah,
Cool.
59, the sweet spot. I
Yeah.
love this film. I stuck it on for my daughter the other day. I stick all these horror films on her, and it's awesome. It's just the right length. The acting's brilliant. It's so realistic. When you watch it at the start, and all the women are talking over each other, and you're thinking, "Oh, this is going to be exhausting." And then when things calm down, you're thinking, "Oh shit!" And you need that realism of people talking over each other, and it works. And even though the annoying sort of bloke that comes into it, and he's taking the piss. I don't know his name. Even he's very realistic the way he is.
Yeah.
But when the shit hits the fan, it is top notch. Shame about fucking dash cam. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that's not on the list? Fucking hell.
Yeah. I wanted to love that one, but yes, sticking with Host. This is one of the creepiest movies I've seen. Like you said, Jenks, it sets up the start brilliantly. Everyone's realistic. And it was literally filmed in lockdown. They sellotaped a camera to the back of a laptop, and that's how they made it. It was made with minimal effort, but high effort, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it came out in lockdown, and they themselves were in lockdown, and everybody was doing the same thing. Everybody was on group chats and doing video quizzes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was just very relevant at the time. And yeah, it's one I've gone back to a few times, and the scares get me every time. It's a fantastic one.
Brilliant film.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I don't think it was great, to be honest. I don't know if it's because we were in lockdown and we were limited to what we could do and record at the time. But I still thought it was good. It was effective. I think it kept people going for a while who were in lockdown. The one thing I will say that I didn't like was there was this, the Scottish woman, the psychic.
Yeah.
And she was living in what looked to be a castle. And what I think is the makers of Host thought Scottish people live in castles and they wear kilts and eat haggis and drink iron brew. I think that's what they think that we do.
Isn't that what you do?
No, look, not a castle in sight, not a brick wall.
We don't shag sheep, do we, Kurt?
Well, there you go.
Well, most of the time.
Speak for yourself.
So it's very stereotypical of the director. But yeah, I thought it was good. I think it was effective. It done its job. Nothing special to me though. But again, it was good, watchable.
I would stick it on maybe. I think I'm between I Like You and Peach.
Peach
because it's
all day.
Because it's not a long film. Maybe it loses some points because it's like an hour, almost like it doesn't qualify. So I'm on the fence. I'll leave it up to Bar. I'm between the two.
Well, I'm go stand in the corner. That's me.
I think it's going to be Like You then.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. I'm Peach Fuzz. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We'll go in the middle then.
Yeah.
There we are.
There we go.
I'm sorry if they hurt you, Barry.
It's okay. If there's a Host 2, maybe she'll be living in a normal house the next time. So next one, we've got District 9.
Now, I know you're going to
say... This is a controversial one.
Oh.
Okay. It's right. The criteria was anything monstery has got to be either aliens, it's creepy, they're nasty, I know they're prawny, but half of the film is found footage, the other half isn't, unless someone's following around with a camera we didn't know about. So it was a weird one, but again, for diversity, I wanted to get someone else to talk, because I thought we were all going to pick Blair Witch, we're all going to pick Paranormal Activity, and I love this film. It's so good. I'm willing to take the hit because it's not officially a full-on horror and a full-on found, but it's fucking top-notch. It is.
It's one of the best sci-fi movies made. It is an absolute 5-star movie. And my problem isn't with it being too sci-fi. Like, there's plenty in there to class it, and there's some sort of genre in there for horror. Body horror, David Cronenberg type movie.
Yeah.
I just feel like maybe only like 20 minutes of the movie is found footage. You've got obviously like the interviews at the start and them going to evict the prawns. And then obviously it just turns into a big action sci-fi movie then. It's a fantastic film. I personally wouldn't have put it on the list though.
Oh, well, good for you.
I have to agree with Curtis. I think it's a 5-star movie. It's a fantastic film.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
But in terms of the horror elements of it, I feel like if we're including movies like Cloverfield, then District 9 does deserve to be on the list as horror. But at the same time, it's not fully found footage, even though there's some found footage aspects to it. And it becomes an all-out Terminator 2 Judgment Day at the end, or Aliens from 1986. But what a film. Like, District 9 is one of the
Yeah.
best sci-fi
Oh
films
my
I've
God.
ever seen in my life. Acting
He
in
needs
it
to
is
stop.
amazing.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Barry.
Yeah.
He needs to stop making shit films, and he needs to make a sequel to this movie because it
Oh,
can't
yeah.
miss.
Yeah.
Neil
I
Blomkamp, I don't think he's done a good movie since this
Oh my
film.
God.
It's
How bad
insane.
is fucking Chappie? Jesus
I love
Christ.
Chappie.
Oh,
Oh, I love it.
like,
I'll-
yeah. You see that?
Actually, I liked Elysium, and I also like Gran Turismo.
I haven't
the
seen Gran
have
Turismo.
you
Did
have
make-
you
did he
seen
make
have you
that?
seen Demonic?
No, that's the one I haven't seen. So maybe that's why I
So-
don't hate him yet.
Yeah, I didn't like Elysium. I didn't hate Chappie. I just didn't think
I
much
hated
of
it.
it.
No,
And
no,
I haven't seen Gran Torino, to be fair, so I can't really comment.
No, Gran
on that one.
Turismo
Gran
is there,
Turismo.
the game
Gran
one, isn't
Turismo,
it?
man. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said
Gran
that one.
Torino
Right.
is Kurt
Clint
Russell.
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
I can see what's
Yeah.
going to happen here now. My film
Right.
is going to be pushed down to the
So-
corner.
For me, in terms of District 9, I think it's a release the Kraken style film. However, because I don't think it meets the full criteria, it loses one for me, which I'm being generous, I feel.
I'm willing to take the hit and go to I Like You.
Whoa, Jenks, let's not be hasty. No, I think we were going to agree on Peach Fuzz here.
Well, I'll go for Peach Fuzz, but I'm trying to be diplomatic.
No, I can understand
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, I'll take that. That's
Would-
like a C in school, you know. You're picking on me as if I have bad grades. I'm like, oh, I'll take a C.
Well, this is a B. Peach Fuzz
It's
is
a
a B.
B. Even better.
Better.
Never had a B before.
Are we agreeing on that then?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Get in
Right.
there.
Perfect. Excellent. And apologies, I've left the chat. I know that some of the chats have come through. I really do apologize, guys. I think because we're trying to get through, because of 23 movies we're trying to get through, it is hard. I have been reading all the comments as well when the guys are talking. Just not been reading them all out. But I have been reading them. Apologies. Let's get into Hell House LLC.
Yeah,
Whose
this
is
is my
that?
choice. I
Yours,
love this
right.
film.
Yeah, I had this one as well.
This is one of my favorite found footage films. I've seen it loads of times. It's so good, right? My daughter, I think she said about this film. I could be wrong. I'm almost positive. She said that she wished she hadn't seen it so she could watch it again. That's how much she loved it.
I like it
Which
when
is
you say
such
that as
a
well.
which is such a cool thing to say. She's only 14, but I was like, oh, that's a nice way of putting it. Just to
Mhm.
experience it one more time. Or you're jealous if someone hasn't seen something awesome, you know. But I love this film. It came from nowhere. It popped up on Amazon Prime years ago, and I just stuck it on randomly. And again, I felt like a bit of a snob. I thought, I've never heard of it. It's going to be shit, and it was awesome. It was better than most these found footage films. It's basically a group of people. They buy this old hotel. It's got a history, and they're going to make it into a haunted hotel for like a theme night. And they're filming it while they're doing it up, and there's ghosts there. Simple as that. And it's creepy, and it's got creepy clowns in it, and that's all I'm going to say. It's awesome.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
I thought it was really good as well. I thought it exceeded my expectations. Again, it came out at a time where found footage films were kind of dying out.
Yeah.
And when I saw the trailer for it, I thought this looks like a cheap found footage movie. And I know that sounds weird to say because all found footage movies look cheap,
Yeah.
but this looks like a level below cheap. But I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was great. I think, like you said, the premise was so simple, but because it was a simple premise, they kept it simple all the way throughout the film. I appreciate that. However, I don't think it's the best Hell House film. Have you seen Carmichael Manor?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, didn't
Oh,
like
really?
it. No,
I thought that
Oh,
was
God.
the best one. Oh,
Curtis
thought I
didn't
had-
no, I
like it.
didn't. Yeah.
It was just, I felt like it was, they were trying to, they've made 3 of them. I haven't seen, I switched off 2. I haven't even bothered with 3. And I thought the 4th one, I thought they were just really struggling to loosely base it. Because I was watching thinking, wasn't the last one a hotel? And I thought I missed something. I thought, this is a different place. How was it linked? And they loosely linked it, and it was shit.
yeah. Oh, well, I thought I was giving you some cool stuff there, but no. Hell House, a really good found footage film, especially for one of the newer found footage movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one of the better found footage movies. This is one that took me by surprise as well. I used to scroll past this one on Shudder all the time because there was a few sequels. They all had the same covers, and I thought it was just a cheap found footage movie. Jenks, you told me to watch it.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised by how much I enjoyed this one. It's got some really good, genuine scares. Like you said, Jenks, those clowns are nightmare fuel because you don't see them move, but every time you look at them, they're in a different position. And with what they had, I think they delivered one of the better found footage movies out there, definitely.
Yeah. I would stick this on Peach.
Yeah, I'm in agreement on Peach Fuzz.
Yeah, I'm happy with Peach as well. Boom. Easy peasy. Next one.
See what happens, Jenks, when we play together, you know?
Yeah, I know.
We can all agree. Although the next one might be controversial.
Right. No way. No fucking way. This
Chronicle.
Okay, I don't care what anybody says, right? I'm glad this is towards the end because I'm revved up now. One, Chronicle is probably the best found footage or one of the best found footage films ever. It is severely underrated. And as if being a horror film or not, if you take away the elements of they basically have powers because they find some alien like artifact that makes them have like kind of Superman powers. Have you seen it, Barry?
Yep.
Yeah. And they got telekinesis, but they can fly because they can elevate themselves. I don't want to go into it, but it's fantastic. And the fact that they can move things with their mind, they can have the camera following them, which is genius, really, to make it to film anywhere they want. It is so realistic. And like, if you think of Brightburn, now Brightburn you probably wouldn't have any beef for this being in it because it's very horror-esque. But this Brightburn wishes it was Chronicle. Everything about I did not like Brightburn. This is
I love Brightburn.
This is so much better because it does play like a horror film because you got the Superman elements, but the main boy, and I forget his name now, he's in Spider-Man 2. I said
Dane DeHaan,
his descent. It's an 80-minute movie. I keep saying 80 minutes and 79, but it's a very short film. The pacing is so good, but the descent into his being a monster makes it qualify as a horror because you're feeling uneasy all the way through. And I love it. I love it.
I can't argue too much, to be honest, Jenks. It's a fantastic film. I think there's enough dread in there to put it in the list. Obviously, it's not a fully fledged horror movie, but I think there's enough in there to qualify.
And just wait one thing, even though like you would class it as a superhero, there's no saving people. It's just dread and horrible things happen. So it doesn't really. It maybe deserves to be put in a sci-fi list, but not a superhero. Fucking definitely not.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I've pled my case.
I've listened to your case, but I still disagree.
My show.
I love Chronicle. It is one of my favorite found footage films, probably top 5 found footage films. I just don't see the horror elements. I can see Dane DeHaan's character Andrew, like when he's doing this and the spider, like his legs come off.
So good.
I mean, those bits I would say loosely qualify it as a horror adjacent genre, but to me it's more of a action superhero kids film.
Kids film, no way.
like something like Into the Storm. I don't know if you've seen Into the Storm.
I've never seen that. It's meant to be awful, isn't it?
It's a kind of similar vibe, similar look.
It must be awful because
if we're
every single one year and it's not there.
Well, it's okay.
Like we're talking about vibes, and I've just seen Jordan Moran's comment about The Innocents. Now that is a top tier. That is a top tier film. Oh my god!
Is that found footage?
No, it's not found footage, but it does play with people having powers and twisting it into something dark. But it's about a group of kids that have these powers and they use it. That is a 5-star movie. I every time I mention that film, no one's ever heard of it.
Oh, you talked about it before to me, and I remember, and I never got around to it because it was foreign, and maybe at the time I couldn't be bothered to read it.
Yeah, Jordan, that's a cracking shout, mate. That's a great movie. I love that film.
I heard it's good. Yeah, I follow a girl, Astro Emma from Australia, Spooky Astronauts, and she does a lot of foreign stuff. and she was the one that recommended The Innocents. That was the first time I heard about it.
Cool.
So it's on my watch list. I've just not seen it yet.
So good. Yeah, so good.
But Chronicle then. So are you released the Kraken, James?
I'm 100%. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I agree on that one. I think it's a fully fledged found footage movie. There's dread in it, and it is one of the best films on this list, I think.
And it's
a
just got
cracking film.
superhero elements. I said it. I'm repeating myself. It's awesome. But
Okay.
I will take the hit if you
No.
if you ball
No.
Peach.
No. Well, it's 2 against 1. Release the Kraken. I think it's a Release the Kraken movie, just not horror. I would have snubbed it down one because I feel like it's District 9. It's not horror, but it's 2 against 1, and I'm still happy that it's Release the Kraken because it's
To be honest, I hate Chronicle, and I was just starting to feel sorry for Jenks.
No, but Barry,
go stand in the corner.
It's 2 Welshmen against 1 Scot. We're outnumbered.
It's 5 against 2 then. Right. 2 more to go. Cloverfield is up next. So that's
choice.
yours, Jenks.
Now, again, I'm going to say the same argument. No, this is a horror film.
This is horror, yeah.
A monster in it.
No argument there.
I was going to defend myself, and this is brilliant. This is easily my top 5, maybe my top 3 favorite found footage ever. I've seen it multiple times. It's Godzilla basically filmed, and the strange thing is, this was inspired by Godzilla. And then the new Godzilla then was inspired by this film.
Mm-hmm.
It's that sort of the
very similar monster like
when he came back in the last few years. It's incredible. What you don't see is the best bits. When you just see a glimpse of the tail, I think when it fully comes out, the CGI is a bit off. But in general, some of the scenes are outstanding. Some of the best cinema ever, and it's made by Matt Reeves. I mean, Matt Reeves is an awesome director. I did Batman and Planet of the Apes. He's awesome. Yeah, I love this film. What do you think?
I have never been a massive fan of the film. I like it, and that's about it. I weren't a big fan of it when it first came out. I didn't really understand found footage that much, and I hated. It was the first movie I watched where I was like, didn't want to see it through a shaky lens because I wanted to see the monster. And I think the first couple of times I watched it, I couldn't get into it. And then once I truly discovered found footage movies, then I went back and I appreciated it a lot more. But yeah, it's not one I've gone back to loads, to be honest. I think it's just a good film.
Can I just say one quick thing? The marketing around, it's all right, I'll get over it. The marketing around this was genius. They had, as you probably remember, 2008, they had a trailer that was just the party where everything rumbles, and there was no title. The working title was like Cloverfield, I think this name of the studio or something like that. And then and it was showing on the trailer for Transformers, and people were going to see Transformers 2007. Sorry, we're going to see Transformers just to see this trailer, and you couldn't get the trailer online or anywhere. And the internet was, YouTube was still around then. I think there's no reason not to see it. And it was the world's best kept secret. And it's really difficult to do these days to keep anything a secret, and that's what I love about it. Yeah.
For me, again, it's one of my favorite found footage films. I do think it's horror. Absolutely love it. It's like the modern, well, I say modern because it's 2008, but it was at the time the modern day Blair Witch Project, because it was the best kept secret. Nobody knew anything about it. It came out of nowhere, and it blew me away. I loved it so much. Personally, I'm a Release the Kraken type of guy when it comes to Cloverfield.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
What about you, Curtis? It's definitely.
I would have put it on. Excuse me, right? I would have put it on. I Like You, but obviously it's too this one.
Yeah,
it's a really good film. It's just not one of my favorites.
No question. I quite like the Cloverfield stories, like 10 Cloverfield Lane and Super 8. Those films are top notch for me.
Super 8's not connected to that. You're mixing up with Paradox, is that?
No.
Well, Super 8's nothing to do with it, is it? I know it's. Is that right? I know
it's not. It's the exact same monster. Alien.
I think it's just that J.J. Abrams doesn't really have any main designs, because if you watch Star Trek 2, there's a monster in it that looks exactly the same. It's got like the legs. Yeah, in the Star Trek 1, when he's on that planet, the monster is almost the same. I thought, I think he just doesn't have many ideas. He just got
I
the
don't
same
know.
like legs,
I feel like it's got too many connections between Super 8
possibly,
and
or
Cloverfield.
he's not very creative.
Like the army and stuff like that is similar to the army in Super 8. Same
Uh,
kind of characters.
Yeah, I think with like 10 Cloverfield Lane and Paradise, I think they were just other scripts floating around and they just chucked
Oh
on.
yeah, they tacked it on at the end. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I feel like Super 8 felt more so like a Cloverfield prequel. Just
possibly.
there's no confirmation. There's no one saying it isn't, and there's no one officially saying it is either.
But it's set in the 70s, that one is. And if you watch Cloverfield, you see the alien drop into the water in present day, in the end. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah,
bullshit.
not the same alien, but there'll be more of them coming down.
Look at that.
Trust me, I'm Scottish. I know what I'm talking about. So last but not least, we've got the Blair Witch Project.
And it's a good one to end on because this is
Yeah.
kind of like the
start
sort
of the
yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust. What? I didn't say anything.
Well, before the Blair Witch and after Cannibal Holocaust, there was another film. Do you know what that was?
No.
1991's The Beloved. There you go.
Man something. There was another.
Oh, man eats dog. Is it something like that?
Man eat dogs. I don't know when that came up, but that was an early one.
That was the 90s, I think, really early 90s or late 80s.
If you search The Beloved 1991, the front cover will scar you for life. But anyway.
Man bites dog.
A man bites dog, yeah. David F. Ray, no Diary of the Dead.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, no, sorry.
Oh, I knew there was something I forgot.
Man bites dog.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Anyway, Blair Witch, did we all have the Blair Witch on our list?
Probably.
No, I
didn't.
thought
so.
Oh, you right. Jinx, you did, didn't you?
I definitely had it. It's
yeah.
It's. I mean, I got a tattoo. I had to pick it because I'm scarred for life.
Same. I'm scarred for life.
You got one. What is it? Blair Witch.
No, it's Heroes.
Oh.
I can't bend my arm. Heroes. Yeah, I'm scarred for life.
I've got too many movie tattoos to get out. You know,
you've got
too many.
I think you got Mr. T on your chest, didn't you? Oh, goodness.
Let's get back to the movie.
Yes. So I watched this in the cinema 1999, and horror kind of died and come back in that year, and I love this film. I shit my pants watching it. Now it's lost a little bit of that terror for me, rewatching it. Obviously there's been some much creepier stuff, but I stuck it on again. I stuck it on for my daughter, and she wanted to watch it because she'd heard of it, and I thought it was going to be really boring for her, and I was kind of watching it thinking she's bored. Yeah. But she said, no, I like the fact nothing much happens. I find it more uneasy and there's no music, so it sort of guides your emotions. But I do love it. Again, there's a lot of on the list I prefer now as time's gone on, but I kind of got to give it the respect. Do you know what I mean? Because it's of its time. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah. I'm the same. It's obviously a dated found footage movie because a lot of people nowadays want to see more happen, and the Blair Witch doesn't give them that. But to me, it's always going to be the blueprint for the modern found footage film. Yes, of course, it wasn't the first, but it certainly was the one that brought found footage into the forefront, because found footage was few and far between, and that just blew the subgenre wide open. And I really appreciate what it's done for horror. So it's I wouldn't say a masterpiece, but it's certainly a film that paved the way for the subgenre, and I have to give it respect for that.
Yeah, same here.
Wouldn't it be funny if we put Blair Witch in the corner just for like reference purposes?
No.
I've never been a big fan of it, to be honest. It was one of those movies. It was this and The Exorcist when I was young in school. It was those were always the two movies that were thrown around the playground. You need to see this, and the terror of Blair Witch and Exorcist. And neither of them scared me when I was a kid. Obviously, The Exorcist is a masterpiece. I love that film. But Blair Witch, I watched it. I think like 10 of us got together, mates, and we all watched it together. And it just didn't do anything for me. I've watched it a couple of times since, and I've never really given it a fair shake as a proper adult, like watching it as an adult. I am jealous of you guys that got to experience Blair Witch coming out and that marketing campaign and going
Yeah,
to
it
see it in
was
the
awesome.
cinema. Yeah, of course. If I've always said is whenever I've said I'm not a big fan of the film, I've always said obviously that it is a product of its time, and I think you had to be there to experience it to
Yes.
truly appreciate it.
No, that's a good point, because I do remember I used to have film magazines at the time, like a Total Film and things, and I just remember hearing the whispers of this found footage movie. There's a picture of the camera with the black and white, and again, the 90s had kind of dried up with horror. I think Sixth Sense had just come out, or it was coming out soon, and I just thought, like, this looks so terrifying. And they were saying it was real footage, and you didn't have the internet back then, so you couldn't verify anything.
Yeah.
But I shit myself when I watched it in the cinema, and it was, I don't know, because you watched it with 10 mates or probably drinking, fucking about. I don't know if it was the right film to watch.
When I was 12.
12. Yeah, you're from Cloneckley. You probably
Drinking a
To be
Capri
fair.
Sun.
It weren't far off.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about this is, like, we obviously experienced was it real, was it not, when we were growing up, Jenks. But
Yeah.
I done something unique with my
You're
son.
you're in it again. No.
Yeah, well, watch that. Listen to this. So last year, I let my son watch the Blair Witch Project, but before it, what I done was I stuck on the documentary of
Oh,
the Blair
yes,
Witch.
I used to have that.
So I put it on and I let him watch it. I was like, "Oh, watch this, Jack. This is quite scary. Like, it's real." And he was watching it. He's like, "Oh God, but imagine that. Imagine we could see this footage." I says, "Well, they actually released the footage.
Oh,
Do you want to watch
genius.
it?" Because they made it into a film. And he's like, "Did they?" I says, "Yeah, but it was banned, so like a lot of countries couldn't." He's like, "Oh my God, can I see it?" I says, "Aye, let's watch it, but don't tell your mum." So we watched it, and he was terrified because he felt like it was real. So
Can
I
I ask
think
I love that.
How old is he?
he's 13, so
Oh,
he
I was gonna
watched
say
it when he was
9.
12. So it's a film that if you watch it thinking it's real, it will
Yeah.
terrify you. If you watch it knowing what it is, you'll just sit and be bored. So I think you have to go into it not knowing anything about it or
Yeah.
believing it's real, and it does have a different experience.
That's a really good idea. You should have made that like a
Documentary on it.
a watch show.
Yeah, watch along. Like my
Yeah,
son's like
watch
this.
along.
"Ah." I know. So
Social
yeah,
services be knocking your door.
I
Hey.
know. I thought it's just documentaries.
Yeah.
So yeah, good experience for him. Great experience for me, and I'm glad he got to see it like
Yes,
that.
that's good.
As for rating it, guys, I'll start off with my personal rating for it. It's released the Kraken for me, personally.
I'm gonna go for, it deserves to be Risa Kraken, but if we're going for rewatchability, I'm gonna go Peach.
Yeah. What about you, Curtis?
It's probably my least favorite up here. I probably like him. Yeah, it's my least favorite found footage movie on that whole list. So go stand in the corner.
Oof, that's harsh, Kurt.
Oh, I actually felt that.
Jesus.
Oh,
How can that be? Like, it's a found footage horror show and you're sticking Blair Witch last. Oh my God.
right. So we're on a battle here between Peach Fuzz and I Like You.
That's like having a possession show and put an exorcist in the soup.
What should we do then? Should we toss a coin?
Oh, I just feel,
To be honest, I'm winded more than anything. I think culturally and the importance of the movie, it has to go at least I Like You from me.
well, I feel like crying if it goes any lower than Peach, because it's just.
Let's do Peach Fuzz then.
Yeah.
If Curtis is
Okay.
willing to bring it up to I Like You, and you're in the middle, and I'm Release, then let's do Peach Fuzz.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
seems more than fair.
Okay. Now we're down to the nitty gritty. Now we've got all these films. They're not in order as they go along the list. We now have to window this down to our top 10. Now, what we can do, if you want, is we can just put 10 films that we all agree on, and it doesn't have to be from 10 to 1 or 1 to 10, as long as we choose 10 of the very best, and they can go in any order in your mind. Is that probably the best way to do it?
Wouldn't we
Yeah,
just
definitely.
pick the 10 from the top 2 rows, though?
Well, there's 12 there, so
Ditch but ditch 2 of them. Like agree to ditch 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
You might think to yourself, "Oh, District 9, maybe I should put it here, though." You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. What do you think?
Is there any on that top 5 that we think is never going to leave the top 10?
For me, Cloverfield would leave. Personally, the top 10, of course.
Yeah, bastard.
Well, let's. I think we all were very favourable on record, weren't we?
Yes, Rec would definitely be up there, 100%.
Were you that
And
favourable, James?
The only one that I would ditch from there, if I had gun to my head, would be Paranormal Activity 3. And the rest
Jeez, that was high up for me. That was.
Oh, this is going to be hard.
Yeah.
So I think there's 2 that we all agreed on was great, and it's Rec and Blair Witch. I think they're the first 2 to go up, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think
and it's hard for me because I got such good taste, and 3 of my films in the top. It's just.
Would we agree that Rec and Blair Witch then are in the top 10?
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
100%.
Right. So they're the first 2 in there. Doesn't mean they're 2 of the best, but they're certainly in there.
Go stand in the corner, Rec.
What is this guy drinking?
No, don't know. So
Have a look at
shocking,
Davey's
Davey.
comments from 2 up as a parent comment. It's brilliant.
As a parent, it's tradition to lie to kids about Santa, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and the Blair Witch Project. You get to experience them all through your child's eyes. Exactly, Davey.
Yes.
100%.
He is a man of wise words.
If anyone is interested in the chat, please leave a comment if you want what you would put in your top 10 as well. Not your personal top 10, but what's on this tier list. Help us out because it's hard.
Well, I know we're not all going to agree on this one, but my 2 favorite from that whole list are VHS 2 and Deadstream. Now, we didn't all really agree on Deadstream. You obviously haven't seen it, Barry, and Jenks doesn't like it that much. I'm not that happy to leave it out of the top 10, but since it's only the 2 of us and it's uneven, what can I do?
I mean, I'm more than happy to put VHS 2 in top 10 because I know
yes,
you
100%.
And I thought it was good when I first watched it.
I'm happy with that. Stick it in.
Right, is in. So yeah, Abigail's agreeing. VHS 2. So
well done, Abigail.
David Effrey's got a point. He says, I would leave out District 9 for sure. I thought it was fine, but people were no, I don't agree with that part, but I definitely leave it out.
I was this American guy. Come on. Who the hell is this guy?
Davey.
Get him off.
Yeah, he's from Juneau, Alaska.
Alaska?
Juneau, Alaska.
Just block him.
Yeah, blocked.
He's a troll.
Do you know that bit where he comes in and they've got the surprise party for him? And he goes, "I think I fucking shit my pants." It's so good.
Hey, that was a good Scottish accent, then, kid.
I can do a Welsh accent. I'm Welsh. So, what did we say on Cloverfield? I'm happy for top 10, but I don't know about you, Curtis.
I would leave it out personally. Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't.
It might go in though. You never know.
Yeah, of course.
I love it. I think it's a masterpiece. That's how much I love it. A true masterpiece.
See, I kind of agree. I agree, and I think
it should win if we both think masterpiece.
Yeah, definitely. I think if the 2 of you agree, yeah, it should definitely go up.
Yeah, it's a strong contender.
No, I also think Chronicle is a masterpiece.
Yeah, I think Chronicle definitely goes in there. I think personally,
I'll put it in there because I also love it. I disagree that it's a horror, but I agree. All these films, it's definitely top 10.
Should we just agree to put all mine in the top 10? Is that fair? Will that speed things up?
Right.
No.
So we've got 3 Paranormal Activity films. I think we're going to have to agree on that. One of them is going into the top 10.
Well, I
think Paranormal Activity 3 is at least my favorite one. If we're only going to put one,
well, you could put all of them in. They're all good.
Yeah.
Well, we did put 2 of them in I Like You, so I don't know if they warrant being in a top 10.
Yeah.
But I'm being biased. Paranormal Activity 3 for me. In fact, let me ask you, Curtis, what's your favourite found footage film?
That's an extreme, man, the way you said that.
Deadstream.
Right. And what's yours, Jenks?
Oh. It's
It's got to be
probably
Chronicle, innit?
it's probably between Chronicle and Cloverfield. I've probably seen Cloverfield more times, but I think it's flawed, but it's more easy to watch. But Chronicle is I don't know.
Well,
I
you're
think
both of them are in there anyway.
I'm all right. I got plenty.
I think it's only fair if we each put our favorite in the top 10.
Yes, that's fair.
Yes, I
Would
like
that
I'm
that.
be
I
happy.
love that.
Yeah, that's
That
fine by
makes
me.
I
sense,
love
doesn't
that.
it?
Do what you want with the rest of them, boys. Do what you want.
And
I'm
you've got
happy.
to watch Deadstream now, and I'm going to rewatch it as well.
I'm going to watch Deadstream because I've never seen it, and you've sold it to me, so I'll be watching that one.
Yes,
Um,
and Barry, me and Jenks are still saving Hush. He hasn't been up to my house
Oh, yeah.
since, but he's coming
Yeah.
up in 2 weeks, and we're gonna watch Hush.
Yeah,
Is
for
it?
those of you,
Sorry.
sorry, just before we, for those of you who are watching, Hush, not the Mike Flanagan one, but the 2008 Road movie set in the
Yes.
UK. Sorry, on you go, Jenks.
Is it sadistic of me for me to really hope that Barry does not like Deadstream? Why do I want him not to like it? Like I should be like, yeah, great. Oh, I'm chuffed you like it, but something in me wants me to go. This is shit.
Well, because I love it so much.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just me being a dick.
I might not like it.
Piece of work you are.
I might not like it.
Barry, do you like Evil Dead?
Yeah, I love Evil
Do you
Dead, all the Evil Dead films.
Do you like found footage movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you love it.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Evil Dead 13.
Yeah.
One of the greatest remake. Well, I'd say the greatest remake of all time. It's fantastic.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Which
that
one?
film.
Dead
Evil
Dead.
Dead 13.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it's
Oh.
too good. If anything, it's too
Balls to
good.
the wall, carnage.
H. Richardson said, glad you guys love Blair Witch. I thought I was the only fan. I think that's the problem with the Blair Witch. I think too many people will say to you it's a bad film that you feel like you shouldn't say you love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, be proud of that because it's
Yeah,
great.
no, 100%. I agree.
So it looks like all our release the Krakens have went up in the top 10, which is no surprise. There's 3 spaces left, and there's obviously 5 in the Peach Fuzz.
See,
What we're thinking.
personally, I just almost feel that Blair Witch should have a space regardless.
I feel that too, but I don't know how strong Curtis feels of that.
Yeah, I know you'd be
If
crying.
he's respectable enough for that.
Yeah,
I mean, guys, it's 2 against 1. I obviously wouldn't put it in my top 10, but
yeah,
it is 2 against 1, and obviously it's one of the most famous movies ever made.
You're
it
right,
wouldn't be
Curtis.
crazy.
Boom.
boom.
Yeah. I think we also all agree that The Visit is a top class found footage movie.
I'd be happy to put that in, but
I like it. I don't know if there's nothing else, I suppose, but I wouldn't put it in there personally.
If there's nothing else, there's plenty to choose from. Jenks.
What about District 9? Have you forgotten about that, have you? I prefer Hell
We've got
House.
to ditch District 9.
I think Hell House, fair enough. Hell House I prefer to The Visit, but I have got a lot of my favorites in there, so I'm going to kind of half step out, I think.
Well, do you both feel like Hell House should have a place in the top 10?
I think it's fantastic. Yeah, I would absolutely put it up there.
I'd be more than happy to put Hell House in it.
Yeah, if you want to, do it.
Oh.
Yes.
Hold on. 1, 2,
What's that,
3,
9?
4, 5. There's 9 left. 9.
Okay.
1 left.
I think we should give it a Barry. It's his show. Have the last pick. What do you think, Kurt?
Oh, well, I've actually got 1. How many have I got in there?
Yeah.
2, 3.
How many have I
I've
got?
got 3
1,
in there.
2, 3, 4. I got 5 in there. Oh, I'm definitely stepping out in the last one.
Do you want me to choose then, guys?
If Kurt
Yes,
is
go on,
happy with that,
Barry.
it's only fair.
Yeah, of course.
District 9.
I'm sorry if you don't like it, guys. Well, you do like it. I'm going for The Visit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Of course.
I think for the twist alone, and for someone like M. Night Shyamalan, as big as he is, to tackle a found footage, I think he deserves a little bit of a credit for that, for especially the films that he'd done before it, like Lady in the Water and stuff, and The Happening. He was going downhill. So, yeah, I think The Visit.
Yes.
I think it would be a little bit too much for us to try and go from 10 to 1 or 1 to 10. Although we probably could. Paranormal Activity being number 1.
Yeah, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, it would be hard. So I think looking at that 10 though, would you guys be happy if somebody said these are 10 of the best found footage
Yes.
movies?
Yes, poor Lake Mungo.
Yeah, it's good though. It's really good.
I will watch it. I've never seen it.
So yeah, I'm happy with the top 10.
That's
It's
awesome.
a solid top 10, boys. There's a
Yes.
few down there in I Like You.
Yeah,
Horse,
and look at that.
Afflicted.
As we got
Tumbler.
there, it's just 2-hour mark now.
It is.
Bang
yeah.
on.
That's great timing. That's brilliant. There we go.
Yeah, awesome.
Again, apologies, guys. I know we've read out some of the comments later on, but there's quite a few comments that I didn't read out. I will read them on the way back when we end the stream, but it was nice to have some people's input on what they think is their top 10, or at least their top 10 in our list. How did it go for you guys? Did it feel easy?
Yeah. This
was it easy enough?
I'd say the video was easy. Ranking wasn't. I knew it was going to be a tough one. I mean, all the films on there are very good found footage films, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me on, Barry.
No, it's a pleasure.
Thoroughly enjoyed myself.
I was going to say halfway through the show that I was like, fuck, I'm having fun doing this. It's like I'm in my element, like not having to do much research. Well, I suppose we watch so many films, we kind of done the research.
We researched, without knowing.
Yes, exactly.
I may not know
very important that was, Jenks. Very important.
I may not know everyone's director's name unless I have to research sometimes, but in general, I love doing stuff like this. And me and Curtis are pretty new to YouTube, and you know, I've just started figuring out this tea maker thing. And I honestly, is in my element. This was such a good laugh and such a good idea as well. Just doing this ranking.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it's hard trying to do it.
There was no pressure, was there?
What's that?
Yeah, there was no pressure. You know, when you've got to speak about a film on your own and deliver like a 20-minute review on a film, it's hard sometimes, because especially if you're talking about 3 films, you're like, right, I've got to remember 3 films now that I need to like keep people's attention on.
Yeah.
So it's nice to just jump on Tea Maker and just, chuck movies on a board.
Exactly. And again, if you get people to talk to and bounce off of, it makes it a lot easier. It's harder doing that yourself. So yeah, it was always good having people on, especially having 2 people on with me, which I mean, we can kind of spread the load, which is always fun.
Absolutely.
If you guys want to stay on with me for 2 minutes after the show ends so we can see our cheery buys. But for the guys in the chat, where can they find you if they haven't already subscribed?
Good. You want to do it?
Yeah, so we've got a very similar channel to Barry's. We basically cover just horror. We are Twisted Locker. If you type it on YouTube, you can find us. You may not be able to understand what we're saying, but if you like Barry's channel, I'm sure you like ours.
Yes. And we do rankings, classic reviews. And we've started doing lives now pretty much every Sunday, which is new to us, but we love lives. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Because
I'm enjoying them more than pre-recorded now.
Yeah, and the way we do our shows, they seem like live anyway. We don't do a lot of it. Have to do a lot of editing because it's we don't script things. We chat, so it's live. It's quite an easy transition for us. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, again, you guys, because there's 2 of you guys and you're from the UK, I can understand your humor, which is good. Just again, guys, if you haven't subscribed to them already, please do so. Really genuinely nice guys, and at least one of them knows their horror movies, which is good. and that right, Curtis? On my description and on the title, you see it says @Twisted Locker. If you just click on that, that takes you to Twisted Locker's channel. So
that takes you to OnlyFans account. It's
pay-per-view. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Oh, before I say thanks, I do this every single time. I need to get my outro. Here we go. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'll be right back. What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!